Night hilled the cliff in silver frost. The grave stood thin above the foam. No voice but wind along the path. No hand but mine to bring her home. Curtains drawn aside, the room gone bare, the candle low, her nightdress cold upon the bed, the window wide against the dark. I knew the road before I ran past leaning stones and Abbey wall. The sea drove hard against the cliff, and Whitby slept beneath it all. On the Abbey bench, where the grave grass bends, I found her pale against the night. On the Abbey bench, with a dark thing near, and no clean name for what I saw. Black sea rose up and kept its counsel still. At first it seemed a trick of mist, a stooping form, a cloak, a face, bent low against her throat and hair, too close, too still, too on to bear. Then as I cried and rushed ahead, it lifted fast and turned from me. A white flash once where I should rest, then all at once the path stood bare. On the Abbey bench, where the grave grass bends, I found her pale against the night. On the Abbey bench, with a dark thing near, and no clean name for what I saw. I called her home, I broke the spell, I held her frail and barely warm. On the Abbey bench, the whole black sea rose up and kept its counsel still. Her head fell back against my arm, her pulse ran faint, her breath came light. Two tiny wounds were set below the curve where throat gives way to life. She murmured once, then nothing more. No dream she spoke, no face, no plea, only a softness strange and spent, as though the night had fed on her. The grave looked down in crooked rows. A sea kept striking at the cliff, and still no witness gave a word. I took her up and let her down through sleeping lanes and shuttered doors. Her feet moved slow, her body swayed, a child half lost between two worlds. At home I brushed the door away. She woke at dawn with clouded eyes and could not tell where she had been. What finds some crypt or storm or blood? What waits where sleep and longing need? what learns the path of open pains and draws the weak through moonlit streets. I have no proof that doctors want, no proper shade to place on fear, only a bench above the tide and two red points that should not. The sky at Lucifer and fading more still seems to listen.